What if I told you that the most magnetic trait a man can possess isn't his wealth, social status, or even his physical appearance, but something far more profound, something invisible yet undeniable, a force that doesn't demand attention but commands it effortlessly, a trait so rare that 99% of men overlook it, yet women, whether they realize it or not, find themselves irresistibly drawn to it. What is this elusive quality? Its presence, its energy. It's the silent confidence that speaks volumes without uttering a word. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and, without explanation, felt the weight of someone's presence? They didn't need to boast, seek approval, or dominate the conversation. They simply existed with an unshakable calm, as if nothing external could disturb their inner world. That is true power. That is the essence of attraction. It's not about rehearsed lines, flashy cars, or designer suits. It's about the way you carry yourself, the way you move with intention, and the way your steady, unwavering demeanor makes others feel safe, intrigued, even mesmerized. And no philosophy captures this art of controlled, effortless dominance more than Stoicism. The mindset of warriors, emperors, and thinkers who understood that true strength is found not in seeking validation, but in mastering oneself. Because when you own your mind, you own the room. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion or becoming robotic. It's about mastering yourself in a world that constantly tries to shake you. Imagine walking into a room, your presence alone commanding respect, not because you seek attention, but because you radiate quiet strength. Women aren't drawn to men who desperately chase them, who crumble under pressure, or who need external validation to feel whole. They are drawn to men who stand firm, who remain calm in the face of chaos, and whose confidence is unshakable. A man who controls his emotions controls his destiny. Picture Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, ruling an empire not with arrogance, but with measured wisdom. That is the essence of true attraction, not flashy gestures, but an undeniable presence rooted in self-mastery. In this video, we'll break down the Stoic traits that instantly make you more desirable, and by the end, you'll realize that real power doesn't come from the world, it comes from within. Let's begin. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who, like so many others, spent his days chasing approval, especially from women. He believed attraction was a game of outward appearances, so he played the part. He wore designer clothes, hoping the price tag would make him more desirable. He exaggerated his achievements, thinking admiration would lead to affection. He performed grand gestures, buying expensive drinks, flaunting his possessions, yet nothing ever changed. Women smiled, humored him, and then moved on, unimpressed. Frustrated and exhausted, he confided in an older mentor, a man who, despite his simple lifestyle, commanded deep respect. He never boasted, never sought validation, yet people gravitated toward him. There was something about him, an unshakable presence, a quiet confidence. The young man, desperate for answers, finally asked, "What's your secret?" The mentor simply smiled. His voice was calm, unwavering. "I do not chase. I build. I invest in my craft, my discipline, my peace. And as I grow, those who value strength and substance naturally come closer." At first, the young man struggled to grasp the lesson. But over time, he changed. He stopped chasing fleeting attention and started building himself, his mind, his body, his purpose. He embraced discipline, sharpened his skills, and found fulfillment in his own growth. A year later, something remarkable happened. Women who once overlooked him now noticed. They respected him, admired him, not because he sought their approval, but because he had become a man worth noticing. Trait number 1, unshakable emotional control. Picture this. A man sits across from his date at an upscale restaurant. the soft hum of conversation blending with the clinking of silverware. The evening is unfolding smoothly, until, in a moment of carelessness, the waiter stumbles. A full glass of red wine crashes onto his crisp white shirt, the deep crimson spreading like ink on a page. Two reactions are possible. The first man snaps. His face contorts in frustration. His voice rises above the polite murmurs of the restaurant. He slams his hand on the table, demanding an apology, his irritation infecting the air around him. His date shifts uncomfortably, glancing around at the other diners now staring at the unfolding spectacle. In his attempt to assert dominance over the situation, he exposes his own weakness, his lack of control. The second man, however, reacts differently. He doesn't flinch. He exhales softly, his expression unchanged. He takes a napkin, calmly dabbing at his shirt as if the incident were nothing more than a passing breeze. He chuckles, perhaps even making a light-hearted remark to ease the tension. His date watches him, intrigued, not by the accident, but by the fact that it hasn't shaken him in the slightest. Now, ask yourself, which man do you think she finds more attractive? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of Stoicism, mastery over oneself in a world of chaos. A man who allows external events to dictate his emotions is a man without control, and a man without control is weak. Women don't just see this, they feel it. They notice how you handle stress, how you respond to the unexpected, how you carry yourself in moments of discomfort. Do you crumble, lash out, let frustration consume you? Or do you remain composed, steady, unfazed? In a world where most men are ruled by impulse, reacting emotionally to traffic, to criticism, to petty inconveniences, the one who remains unshaken stands apart. He exudes a quiet power, a presence that commands respect. Because true confidence isn't in loud words or forceful gestures. It's in the stillness of a man who refuses to be controlled by anything but himself. Trait number 2, silent confidence. Confidence isn't something you announce, it's something you embody. It doesn't come from words or bravado, but from presence. True confidence is like a still mountain, unshaken by the wind, unmoved by the storm. It simply exists, and its quiet strength is impossible to ignore. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, believed that the most powerful men were not the ones who shouted for attention, but those who carried themselves with an air of quiet authority. Think of a man who walks into a room. He doesn't demand respect, yet heads turn. He doesn't seek approval, yet people are drawn to him. Why? Because his very presence radiates something rare, self-assurance without arrogance. Look at James Bond. Not the explosions, not the chase scenes, but the way he carries himself. He doesn't fidget. He doesn't over-explain. He speaks only when necessary, and when he does, people listen. His confidence doesn't come from showing off, but from a deep-rooted understanding of who he is. Now, contrast this with the average man, constantly talking, seeking validation, eager to prove himself. You see it in the way he brags about his achievements, overcompensates in conversations, or anxiously waits for approval. But the truth is, the more you seek validation, the more you reveal your insecurity. Real confidence doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't need an audience. It exists in the way you stand, the way you move, the way you handle setbacks without flinching. It's the unwavering eye contact, the slow and deliberate speech, the ability to remain calm under pressure. It's the assurance that you don't need to be liked, because you already like yourself. And that is what makes a man truly magnetic. Trait number 3, a strong sense of purpose. There is nothing more magnetic, nothing more undeniably compelling than a man whose mind is set on a purpose greater than himself. Why? Because purpose breeds certainty, And certainty is rare in a world filled with aimless wanderers, men who drift through life without direction, waiting for external validation to give them meaning. A man with purpose does not chase approval. He commands respect without uttering a single word. Epictetus, once a slave, could have resigned himself to a life of insignificance. But he didn't. He chose discipline over despair, wisdom over resentment, purpose over excuses. He rose above his chains, becoming one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history. Why? Because he understood one crucial truth. A man's worth is not defined by his circumstances, but by his ability to rise above them in pursuit of something greater. Women don't admire men who live for their attention. They admire men who live for their mission. It doesn't matter if that mission is building a business, mastering a craft, or dedicating yourself to self-improvement. What matters is the fire in your eyes, the unwavering commitment to something that fuels you. When a man has that, he becomes magnetic, not because he seeks validation, but because he is whole without it. Conclusion. So what does this all mean for you? If you want to be truly attractive, not just to women, but to everyone around you, then you must stop chasing approval like a desperate man grasping at sand. The harder you try to force admiration, the more it slips through your fingers. Think about the men who command attention the moment they walk into a room. Are they the ones constantly seeking validation, trying to impress with words and status? No, they are the ones who move with calm certainty, who own their space without the need for recognition. The truth is, attraction isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. It's the byproduct of self-mastery, purpose, and unwavering emotional control. A man who governs himself, who remains composed in the face of chaos, who speaks only when necessary, who walks with quiet confidence, is a rare force in today's world of loud distractions and fleeting desires. He is magnetic, not because he tries to be, but because he has built himself into someone worth noticing. Ask yourself, do you want to be the man women admire, respect, and crave? Then shift your focus. Stop chasing them and start chasing greatness. Devote yourself to becoming stronger, wiser, more disciplined. Become the man who doesn't need to seek attention because his actions and presence demand it. The moment you do this, when you truly embody Stoic power, you will notice something incredible. People will begin chasing you. Be that man. Be Stoic. And watch as the world responds to you in ways you never imagined. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What's the one Stoic trait you're working on right now? I'll see you in the next video.